Leaked news last night revealed a little bit, apparently, of what exactly caused the FBI to want to raid Mar-a-Lago. Now, consider this unconfirmed at this point, but supposedly the Washington Post had multiple sources, and it's not looking great. So they say classified documents related to nuclear weapons were among the items FBI agents sought when they searched Mar-a-Lago back on Monday. That was all the way back on Monday. They did not offer additional details about what type of information the agents were seeking, whether it involved weapons belonging to the US or some other nation, nor did they say if the documents were recovered as part of the search. So all they did was drop a little nuclear bombshell on us that it has to do with weapons of mass destruction, and that's all. They can't tell us anything more. But we do know that a person familiar with what was taken from Mar-a-Lago says that there was signals intelligence material, which is intercepted electronic communications like emails or phone calls of foreign leaders that were included in those boxes. Again, according to these sources who are at this point anonymous. So we've been wondering all week, is this actually about the documents? And if it is about the documents, what could possibly merit what's happening? Well, if these reports are true, this would seem to merit. If it has to do with nuclear weapons, about nuclear weapon technology or how to create them or defense systems, then that's the sort of thing in theory you'd want to get a lock on. Now, officially, the story right now is that Donald Trump is denying this. We're gonna read a statement from him on Truth Social where that is apparently what he does. But I think he has accidentally admitted, he has done his stereotypical projection indicating that this is true, that it is about nuclear weapons paperwork, and that he did actually have it. We'll get to that in one moment. But first, here is his, I guess, what passes as an official presidential statement these days, his truth. Nuclear weapons issue is a capital H hoax, just like Russia was a hoax. 2 impeachments were a hoax, the Mueller investigation was a hoax, and much more. Same sleazy people involved. Why wouldn't the FBI allow the inspection of areas at Mar-a-Lago with our lawyers? For some reason, it's got the possessive, anyway, or others present, made them wait outside in the heat, wouldn't let them get even close, said absolutely not. Planting information, anyone? Reminds me of a Christopher Steele dossier. Yes, they were left out in the heat. They couldn't go somewhere else or get in their car or something, I don't know. But anyway, that is him saying it's a hoax. He's not specific there about what sort of hoax it is. Is it a hoax in that it's not at all about nuclear stuff and this leak is untrue? Is it a hoax in that, sure, maybe that's what they were looking for, but I didn't have it? Or is it a hoax in that that's what they were looking for and I definitely had it, but I don't want you to focus on that, so I'm gonna call it a hoax? Well, that is what he put out since last night. But he also released this statement more recently saying, President Barack Hussein Obama kept 33 million pages of documents, much of them classified. How many of them pertain to nuclear? Word is lots. And I think that is, for me, definitive. First of all, he's super confused about the 33 million. He's definitely thinking about the 33,000 Hillary emails. So whatever, what does he know about whatever documents Obama has? Nothing. What I do know though is he's telling you everybody takes nuclear documents, man. Obama's got tons of them. So why are you getting on my back, Jack? I think this is him admitting, Brett, that he does have paperwork having to do with nuclear technology. What do you think?
I don't think you can take anything he says as a statement of reality ever, because his approach is the everything, everywhere, all at once approach, where he will say every kind of argument instead of picking one like a normal person. And the reason that he does that, this is actually a strategy that has always played out for the guy. He does that because he just wants to put out like, hey, here's a bunch of vines that a bunch of confirmation biased people can latch onto. And if one of those vines turns out to be just a snake not attached to anything and it gives way, there's another vine nearby. And that has played out every single time with the Trump administration as he, tries he A/B tests a bunch of different strategies. Yeah. And if one loses, he doesn't ever admit fault. So that's not really even part of the calculus, because admitting fault is the indicator to people that he did something wrong. Instead, he just switches pathologically to the other story.
Yeah, that is possible. And I certainly don't take whatever he says at face value, but I do know that he projects. I know that about all of them. And so I could be wrong, but I feel like when they say the FBI is definitely planting stuff, that to me tells me that they think that there is something there. So when they say everybody has nuclear stuff, that to me says that they have nuclear stuff. I could be wrong. I get a lot of predictions wrong, but I feel like their projecting is a pretty safe basis for predictions, I think.
Yeah, anyway. And also another thing about how this is all playing out, it is very similar to how, like, when you break up with someone and you live together. I don't know if you've ever done that, but when that happens, you're like, oh crap, this is the belt from Argentina that you got on your trip that I still have in my closet. And they're like, yeah, I need it back. And you're like, sure. I can't tell if I spitefully stole this or just accidentally stole this. But they're like, I'll just give it back. It's fine. But if you hold on to it too much, they're like, I'm gonna get like someone to come over and get it back from you. I actually need that thing. Yeah. That's what is happening. And it looked like they, I don't know if you covered this yesterday, but they did subpoena that stuff. They said, hey, just hand it over. And he didn't. So they're like, well, we're gonna come and get it. And every complaint he has holds no water whatsoever.
Yeah, and well, when we're gonna get to the whole releasing thing, I'm gonna give an early heads up before we move on to this next thing that to skip. Apologies in advance. I'm gonna be moving around a little bit of stuff. I apologize. Why is this significant? Well, for several reasons. First of all, because it's about nukes. I mean, I feel like that's pretty self-evident that makes it more significant if it's about nuclear weapons. But beyond just like the topic, and it might be possible to come up with what's a topic that the paperwork could have been about that would have been worse. Maybe something related to the insurrection. That's more domestically important, maybe. I don't know about internationally. Brett, super fast. Is there anything else that would have been, if it's one word applied to what they were looking for? I feel like nuclear is the worst.
I think nuclear is the worst. They don't say it was the Social Security secret documents option when they talk about blowing up Supreme Court nominees. They don't talk about like the keys to the Oval Office bathroom winter when they talk about the end of the universe. Or life on Earth. Nuclear, in my estimation, is the worst kind of bomb.
It's probably.
So thank you for thinking of me as a corroborator in that point. I appreciate being involved.
So beyond just that, let's now dive into, let's really focus on nuclear weapons or technology and Donald Trump. Well, with this initial pass, everybody's like scrambling to try to figure this out in advance of hopefully more information coming. But a lot of people have focused on back early on in the Trump administration, there was this probe into nuclear technology with Saudi Arabia that Donald Trump was apparently involved in. A committee report that the Republicans rejected made a number of accusations, including that the Trump administration, quote, tried to rush the transfer of highly sensitive US nuclear technology to Saudi Arabia. This was without congressional review and a potential violation of the Atomic Energy Act that restricts the export of US nuclear technology. So they were trying to make this happen and they were apparently stopped. It makes me think of that. It makes me think of back when he worked for TYT Investigates, Ken Klippenstein doing reporting. Jonathan Larson reminded me of this, of a Trump affiliated lawyer getting involved with the Saudis to lobby for more access to this technology. So that's something to look into. Or even more recently, the fact that the Saudi, like the sovereign investment firm, you recall that they gave billions of dollars in investment to Jared Kushner, despite the fact that the oversight board's like, there's no reason to do this. Now, probably this has nothing to do with it. The fact that an incredibly close working associate and family member of Donald Trump just got billions of dollars from the country that he was trying to rush technology to. Probably it has nothing to do with it, but I don't know, he's not giving us a lot of information. So we're sort of scrambling to figure this out.
There was someone at Mar-a-Lago just kind of skulking around that got kind of arrested for just eventually got caught after hanging out at Mar-a-Lago, infiltrating Mar-a-Lago during the Trump presidency. If I'm the FBI, there's a couple things I don't want. I don't want to get embarrassed. The FBI has a good track record in certain situations and a god-awful, horrible, no good, very bad reputation in others that have been covered on this network quite a bit. But that said, I just want people to go back to like the instinct test. Like, what does your instinct tell you after, like, Trump is stupid and opportunistic. He's not a whistleblower. There's no whistleblowing red flags going off at the FBI saying that Trump might, blow the whistle on what we've been doing that's corrupt. No. Trump's either gonna frickin' lose it or have it stolen from him, or since he violated the emoluments clause by all accounts, he profited off of his position during his presidency. When he doesn't have access to the White House anymore, obviously we're gonna be afraid of that guy trying to profit from his position after his presidency, or just stupidly, accidentally telling people secrets. I'm fine with them looking at it.
Exactly, yeah, and look, I don't like it, and I wish that it hadn't come to this. You know how it could have not come to this? Well, there's a couple ways. He could have not taken the documents in the first place, or alternatively, when they came months ago asking for them, he could have made them all available. Those would have been great ways to not have him be raided. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.